The inspiration behind this festival is really a royal vision. His Majesty the King commanded that we conduct a global peace prayer festival based on our spiritual heritage, which is rooted in a tradition of Vajrayana Buddhism. And His Majesty the King commanded this particular time because the world needs peace, but also coinciding with His Majesty the Fourth King's 70th birth anniversary. So His Majesty the Fourth King turned 70 very soon. And as you know, that he abdicated the throne when he was 51, around the time that he introduced democracy in Bhutan. So he's turning 70, and His Majesty the King commanded that while the world needs peace and we need to conduct a profound sacred ceremony praying for global peace, we should, what better time to do it than coinciding with His Majesty the Fourth King's 70th birth anniversary.
Absolutely. So given the instability in Bhutan's neighborhood, we saw that in Myanmar, Bangladesh, Nepal, do you see Bhutan emerging as a spiritual and diplomatic bridge for peace in South Asia?
I don't know about a bridge, but we are already a hub. We are the last surviving Vajrayana kingdom on the earth. Not only are we a last surviving Vajrayana country, but Vajrayana, the traditions, the spirituality of Vajrayana Buddhism is thriving in Bhutan. And His Majesty the King has already invited all different schools of Vajrayana to set up a base in the Gyalfu Mindfulness City. So the Gyalfu Mindfulness City is now going to be a hub, an international hub for Vajrayana Buddhism.
So Bhutan and India share a deep spiritual and civilizational bond which is rooted in Buddhism, as we all know. How do you view India's presence and participation in the festival, and are Indian Buddhist monasteries or spiritual leaders also invited to this festival?
Yeah, there are many Indian spiritual masters taking part in the festivals. They are also conducting prayers, leading prayers in the Global Peace Prayer Festival. Many practitioners from India are here, and there are many different sects of Buddhism who are attending the Global Peace Prayer Festival. And this prayer festival is being conducted with significant support from the government of India too.
Right. So Prime Minister Modi has personally supported Buddhist initiatives from celebrating Vesak to strengthening Buddhist circuits in India. Do you see opportunities for Bhutan and India to collaborate more closely in promoting Buddhism as a force of peace and sustainable development?
We already collaborate. In fact, in about a week's time, in 4 days' time, one of Lord Buddha's most sacred relics, one of the most sacred relics of Lord Buddha is going to be arriving in Bhutan. And this is Prime Minister Modi. He has granted permission that this very sacred, special, precious relic be flown into Bhutan so that the worshippers in Bhutan and around the world can worship this, offer prayers and worship this sacred relic during the Global Peace Prayer Festival. But there are many other corporations. Like I said, the Global Peace Prayer Festival is being conducted with support also from the government of India. And in India, many Bhutanese visit India. Some of them do visit India almost every year. They go on pilgrimage to the sacred Buddhist sites in India, especially in Bodh-Gaya. In Bodh-Gaya, where Lord Buddha attained enlightenment, we have a monastery there, built on land that is gifted to Bhutan by the government of India. Most recently in Rajgir, His Holiness the J. Khenpo, our chief abbot, inaugurated another Buddhist monastery, Bhutanese Buddhist monastery in Rajgir, again on land gifted to us by the government of India. There are many Bhutanese scholars who study in Indian universities, particularly in the Nalanda University. And so there's a lot of cooperation already happening. This is being built, actually, on cooperation that we have enjoyed over millennia, because many spiritual masters from India traveled to Bhutan or sometimes to other parts of the Himalayas and ended up in Bhutan. And if they didn't come here in person, their teachings ultimately found their home in Bhutan.
Absolutely.
Going forward, there's a lot we can do with Prime Minister Modi and the government of India, the people of India, building the Gelifu Mindfulness City into a Vajrayana, a center for Vajrayana practice. In doing so, many of the schools, Vajrayana schools and denominations in India will find a home in Bhutan. There'll be many monasteries and temples and schools of Vajrayana, stupas being built at the Gelifu Mindfulness City. We have many conferences, and in particular, the International Vajrayana Conference. There too, our scholars and scholars from India, our spiritual masters and spiritual masters from India get together and hold a multi-day conference on Buddhism.
Thank you. Absolutely. And sir, just the last question on India-Bhutan relationship. How do you see the relationship growing? In which sectors it is thriving? In which sectors do you see the relationship going forward as well?
I've mentioned this to you before. Yeah. Our ties are more than a relationship. It is a friendship. And our friendship is very, very strong. The anchor of our friendship is our leaders. The highest leaders in India today, Prime Minister Modi, and in Bhutan's case, our beloved kings, our fourth king, our current king. They enjoy tremendous goodwill and friendship with the leadership in India, in particular Prime Minister Modi. In the past, our cooperation was defined by development partnership and development cooperation, and we have benefited tremendously from this partnership with India. While this continues even today, this development cooperation continues even to this day, we are stepping up our economic cooperation, particularly in the development of hydropower projects. Earlier, all our hydropower projects was government to government, government of India to government of Bhutan. Now, a lot of the private sector from India are entering the hydropower space in Bhutan and are investing in developing a hydropower. So in the energy sector, in the economy in general, but particularly in the energy sector, we see a lot of cooperation. Going forward, there's tremendous excitement in the Gelifu Mindfulness City, a special administrative region, a royal vision that has already started being built along our borders with India. And this particular project is going to benefit both India and Bhutan. And through this partnership is going to benefit much else in South Asia and across Asia and indeed the world. And this partnership can succeed in Bhutan. It will succeed because of the royal vision and the leadership of His Majesty the King, but will also succeed because of the support, unconditional support that the Indian leadership, particularly Prime Minister Modi and the government, is giving this project.